Hi everyone. I'm just waiting on a few more people to come on. Hi Barry. Hi Jason. Elizabeth. Angie. Just waiting on a few more to come on. Hi Dala. Tracy. First of all, we had a brilliant day yesterday in Manchester. My good friend Elliot and his girlfriend, we had a good day yesterday and it was nice to see you, mate. To our supporters and people that support me and Bobby and we're giving out our leaflets, thank you for helping us to get the leaflets out there. Watching Tommy expose the BBC for what they truly are, was a brilliant thing, and we get that. We all get it. Me and Bobby's been trying to expose the BBC, Sky, the Jeremy Kyle show, the whole lot for over 4 years now. Everybody that knows our case, we won the biggest case in Europe because we were raped and abused as children. Me and Bobby sent emails after emails on the BBC, and they didn't want to know. They kept refusing the interviewers or print anything on us. We asked them to do a documentary on our case. They turned it down. Sky did the same. Whenever, because of our case, how big our case was, we asked back in then, it was all them years ago, we asked Max Clifford at the time because of he's a publicist, isn't he? Yeah. We were asking him for help because of who he was. He never got back to us, and we know the reason why now he didn't get back to us. Because of what came out about Max Clifford. We even approached the BBC then to turn around and tell BBC about Max Clifford. Well, we know now why they wouldn't even do anything about what we were saying, like exposing. Well, that's the reason why Max Clifford never got back to us. Whenever you're looking, and what this is what we're highlighting, that when it comes to raping and abusing children in England, where we live, me and Bobby are trying to do the best that we can to expose it for what it is. The government aren't debating this. BBC aren't reporting this. Neither's Sky. Neither's the Sun newspapers. None of them are. Me and Bobby, like I said, you all know, the supporters that know us, you know that we won the biggest case in Europe. We want to expose even that case. Sorry. When I was at the demo yesterday, it was a good demo. Me and Bobby would have loved to have been on the stage as victims, to be able to tell our story, because us as victims, whenever we haven't got the BBC or Sky or the Sun newspaper reporting our case, right, which happens in many victims' cases, they won't expose it for what it is, because they don't want the public to be infumed by what's going on. Me and Bobby, yeah, we want Tommy to interview us as victims because we want to be able to tell our side of the story, which we really, really think that it should. If the media aren't reporting it, then we need people like Tommy to report it, to let us tell the truth. Social media is the only way now, and this is what we need to do. It's not a case of us shutting up and putting up with it. This could be anybody's child that gets raped and abused. And we fought to change the laws to stop this from happening, but it's got worse. Whenever you talk to a victim, like we are, we said in 1977 to social services that we were being raped and abused. Me and Bobby both, we said that on the steps of Kirkcaldy Boys' Home. She turned round and said that we were problem children, and we were only saying that as an excuse to get out of that home. The same way, when it was St. Patrick's, we said the same. Did anybody hear our cries? No, they didn't. Yeah. And we can turn round categorically and say that since 1977 to 2019, social services shouldn't exist. To take children off families that have got no right to take children off anybody. Yeah. Children are being raped and abused under social services. And me and Bobby feel very strongly about that. Because social services let me and Bobby, they basically waved the green flag for me and Bobby to not be listened to and to get raped even more. Not a very nice thing to do to your child, is it? But that's what they did. Sorry. But this is what society has to accept. We don't have to accept it, but the media want us to. The government want us to. We've already said there's 160 members of parliament on a sex register. And what's being done about that? Nothing. Why? Because they see themselves as the elite. And the common people, which is us, yeah, we're the ones that suffer under the leadership of them. Why is it not being debated in the House of Commons or the House of Lords? Every child has got the right in this country to be protected. The same way us as parents protect our children. But the government aren't doing nothing about that. They're not listening to the public. Yeah. So what does that say about them? The media, and I'm not scared to say it, because I've always said it. Yeah. All the paedophile hunters that go around England doing a brilliant job getting paedophiles off the streets. Yeah. They do a massive, brilliant job, and I applaud every single one of them, and I support every single one of them. Whenever they catch somebody, I expose it more because of the supporters that I have, to get that face out there to the general public so that they know that face. And that's what I do. Why do we have to do that? Why is it not being, like I said, why is our politicians not getting this debated? Why is our children not being protected by politicians? Why is the police not doing more? The paedophile hunters that go out there are doing a better job than the police are. So when you look at the bigger circle in this, what's it being left down to? It's being left down to Joe Blogs, right? And lovely people to bring this to the head, because they aren't. Me and Bobby, right, we're going on the bigger. I know people haven't heard from me for a while. We've been sorting out different things in our heads, different exposures, and what we're going to do. And believe me, it's going to get massive. What me and Bobby can do. Me and Bobby, if we want to, we could blow the lid on the whole lot of this. Have you ever seen anybody interviewed on a government-run inquiry that went through the whole inquiry? Me and Bobby went through the two of the biggest government inquiries in Europe. Anybody can go on the HIA website and look at me and our Bobby's transcripts. We won our case 2 years and 2 months ago with the other victims. We haven't had a government apology. We haven't had the memorial built for all the kids that killed themselves and people that killed themselves. We haven't had not one payout. Not one single person other than Father Brendan Smith, who raped us. He raped 300 children. He got a 12-year sentence and he died 6 months into his sentence. Not one other person has been brought before a court and prosecuted and dealt with in 2 years. And this is under a government-run inquiry. Amnesty International jumped on our case because from 2013 to 2017, 60 victims died. We can't get the stats on whether they committed suicide, whether they died of old age or illness, because it's covered up. Under a government-run inquiry, and considering our inquiry's over, it finished, and we won our case. The whole state was found guilty of Islamic abuse against children. Yeah. Our inquiry back in Northern Ireland cost £19 million of the taxpayers' money. The inquiry that you're having here in England now, where we've lived for over 40 years, yeah, cost £100 million of taxpayers' money. 4 judges have retired from that inquiry. Now, as a victim, what trust does that give a victim? This is why me and Bobby do what we do. We've been through the biggest inquiry in Europe, and the field, everybody in that inquiry, till this day, we still haven't had it closed. We came forward to change laws to protect children. Yeah. Has them laws been implemented yet? No, they haven't. The government-run inquiry that they're having here in England, yeah, What's that? What trust does a victim have when 4 judges have already jacked the job in? And do you know the only reason why they've jacked the job in? Because it's to do with the government. Cyril Smith, pedo, and lots more. They're letting them die. They're letting the elite die. Yep. Before bringing them to justice. The same way they knew about Savile. Why did they let him die? They knew about him over 20 odd years ago. They knew what he was doing. But the elite seem to get away with it because they can. Should we have people? And this is the other thing, right? I've said it. Anybody can check my live feeds that know me. I've been saying it for years, right? Don't buy the Sun newspaper because they're not telling you the truth. Don't pay a TV license. I haven't paid a TV license in years because why should I pay pedophiles? Yeah. That work for BBC. Tommy exposed it yesterday. Yeah. The ins and outs of it all. Me and Bobby, yeah, done this years ago. And I'm not saying that to knock Tommy. I'm not. But our case is one of the biggest in Europe. Did the BBC want to report it? No. Did Sky want to report it? No. Did the Sun want to write a story on it? No, they didn't. Considering the Irish Sun, they had no other choice but to print our story on the Irish Sun. But what people don't understand, the British Sun here in England is the sister ship of the Irish Sun. Our case was an exclusive. Why was it not put over the Sun in England? They wouldn't do it because they don't, because it's cover up after cover up after cover up. We've had a bit of a break because me and Bobby, as everybody knows and supports us, we give our Christmas up and we're on the island in Kings Norton Green, yeah, fighting for our cause, right, all over Christmas. And we just had to take a wee bit of a break just to recuperate and get ourselves sorted so that we can do other things. And we are. We haven't gone away. We'll never go away. Yeah. But what I meant for emphasizing on, yeah, is that it's time now for to get this out even bigger. And Tommy's doing a good job doing that. But me and Bobby can expose the lot. Me and Bobby, even though we won the biggest inquiry in Europe, we were signed, even though me and Bobby waived our anonymity to be able to talk to the public about the suffering and the abuse that we went through, right? We're under a gagging order. We can tell our story. The one thing that we're not allowed to do is mention the names of the people that raped and abused us. If we do that, we jeopardize everything. We get a £25,000 fine or 2.5 years in prison. And that's under a government-run inquiry. Yeah, sorry for saying this, but a 2.5 year sentence in prison. Haven't we been imprisoned enough? We've got fucking memories that never go away, and we have to live with them to the day we die. We're always going to be in prison. And you've got the fucking government saying this to us. If we say the names, we're in prison and a £25,000 fine. And that's the victim. The perpetrators get more protection than the children do, and the victims do. I've always said it, and everybody that knows me knows I've said it, right? There's a massive problem that's happened here in England. Why is the BBC, Sky News, and the rest of them are scared to say that Pakistani Muslims are raping innocent girls and boys in this country on a massive scale? I'd say that because I can. Because it's the truth. But why can't the media, the so-called media say it? Because it's in their interest to cover it up. We, the people, the truth tellers, will never let it be covered up. Not for 1 second will we let this get covered up. A victim who's interviewed anybody? Gary has. And he said, Gary, he interviewed me and Bobby. Gary Clark interviewed me and Bobby. And he's the only one, the first one from the Dragons. And that interview that we did with him was massive. Yeah. And we respect him for that. The DFLA have interviewed us and we respect him for that. Yeah. I've been down in London with Tracy Blackwell, right? And she's lovely as well. And she interviewed us. But when you look at the bigger scope of this, yeah, why ain't the media? We're all doing it because the media are scared of me and Bobby. We know what it's like to go through a government-run inquiry twice, and it's the biggest government-run inquiry in Europe. Has anybody else been viewed about that? Have you ever heard about it? No. Have you heard about the £100 million inquiry that's happening here in England? Is it over the news, explaining everything about how the inquiry's going and the way that it's all, what it's leading up to? No. But like I say, it infuriates me and the other victims when we have to sit here, yeah, and see that your pain and what you went through doesn't mean shit. Yeah, it hurts me to even say it, but it's true. And that's BBC not giving a shit. It's the whole media not giving a shit because they've got so much to cover up. You would have thought whenever the BBC was exposed for all the paedophiles that came out of it, yeah, that they would have changed their tactics and started jumping on the bandwagon and supporting victims of rape. Have they done it? No, they haven't. Yeah. I've always said to everybody, don't get a TV, don't pay your TV license. Don't pay nothing for these fucks because it's false news. And it always will be. Yeah. It's it's just one of them where, no, I feel let down as a victim, where I've got no saying other than doing what I'm doing now. Yeah. But it hurts me as a victim and the other victims that our cries can't get out there, our stories can't get out there. And it's frustrating and it's really hurtful. Because it's like us, the victims, we haven't got a voice. I know we're here on social media and that's given us the voice, right? And we respect that. But whenever you're looking at what you pay for, and that's the BBC, you're paying your TV license, you get screwed in this country for everything anyway, right? But what are we paying for? To be shut down and not listened to? Is the real news ever going to get told? No, it won't. The only time real news will ever get told is on social media. We are the new news. And I hope and pray that it does get bigger and more truthful and get out there bigger and better than anything. This isn't going to be a long one. I'm going to end it in a wee minute. But I just wanted to say, know that yesterday was a brilliant day. And we all were there, united today. Yeah. In what he exposed. Yeah. But it needs to be a lot bigger. And like I said, it's the victims' stories that need to get out there, because when they do get out there, it'll make this even bigger. Whenever I look at the way the country is, I've lived in this country for over 40 years. Social services robbing children of families. Yeah. Children going missing. Why? Our soldiers, men and women, living on the streets that have fought for this country. Mothers and fathers going to a fucking food bank to feed their children and themselves. Really? The elite are living like the elite. We, the public, what life have we got? They're destroying us. And we need to all unite as one massive big group and oust this shitty government out. They aren't worth the paper. Other than Gerard Batten, I'm not saying that because I met that lovely bloke yesterday. I've seen him a few times and I had my photograph took with him and everything yesterday. Yeah. I don't vote because I lost my confidence in the vote. But I can categorically sit here now and I will be voting UKIP. Thank you everybody for listening to me. You will be hearing a lot more of me and Bobby, right? We'll be up Birmingham City Centre doing our demos. We'll be doing very interesting demos because of different places we'll be going. But believe me, you will be hearing a lot of us. Once again, thank you for everybody for listening and supporting us. And please continue to support us. In this video, push it out there to all your friends, family, and push it out to as many people as you possibly can. Together we stand united. Together we win. Thank you, everybody. Right? Ta-ra. Bye. Bye.